Well, let's start here.
Okay.
Code Red, we start with the cheers. Now, you got a tequila coming, Ryno.
Huh?
Rhino Tequila?
Yeah, working on a little bit of this company, Rhino Tequila. Kind of fell in my lap. A guy, I hit up just to do some, some promotion or whatever, and then he called me back and said, hey, I've kind of lost a little bit of interest in it and want to do some other things, and if you want to take it on, you can have it. I was like, shit, okay. So talked to him, met another guy, and then he was really interested, so all three of us are trying to come in together. We're getting our first shipment, should be arriving any day now. And, we're going to try to start a tequila club, kind of like a wine club.
I love it.
Yeah, so something different, Again, we train hard. We should eat clean. So if we're going to have a little bit of fun, a little bit of party, we'll try to make that clean too.
Yeah.
And tequila is one of the cleanest alcohols, I guess. So
are you like a tequila nerd? Do you know, this is this kind and that kind?
I know, extra Yenejo, Reposado, Blanco, but I'm not a nerd of anything like that.
Oh, you know more than me.
Yeah.
But
I'm
again,
already lost.
But I don't know, there's companies that I know that are good that, that aren't good, that are a little bit dirty, and ones that are super clean. So I know that, but no, I'm not like some wine snob or some tequila hoe.
Some winos will my sister's one of them. She could sit there and sample one. Oh, this has notes of this and that. I don't know.
No,
Okay.
I'm only an expert in a few areas.
A few things.
A few things.
Fighting,
fucking, and riding.
No.
Nice. Well,
That's a good combo.
It'd be a good sponsor for this show here, so we'll stay in touch on it.
Yeah.
What's new with you guys?
I guess since I'm talking, not much. Just simple, just simple life. And I don't know if there's anything new, do some coaching. I live off grid and
we
just have fun here and
we had
there.
A nice little chill ride last week.
Yeah.
You two went riding.
Yeah.
Yeah, we rode a little bit. He followed me the whole time pretty much. I'm like, dude, when's he going to pass me? And he just stayed behind me. I'm like, all right, well, I'll just keep doing my little thing,
Who would have thought the summer of 2003 that you two would be out at the vet track, literally riding the vet track, cruising around together? That's cool.
And going slow, you know what I mean? So
I know. I said to him, that's by far the chillest I've ever seen you on a motocross track. But it was fun. I was like, this is cool. Like, it's, just like you said, I was riding behind Ryno and I was thinking of all these old memories and some of the battles and, just the intensity, because he's got that intense personality. And when I'm racing, I feel like I'm the same way, And then, we were also talking about how we went and visited Brownie, who's obviously in a bit of a low place, I think, right now. He lives on a motorcycle, so you take that away from him, I can only imagine. Yeah. And then, some other factors. But it is funny to think, at one point, we, and I use the term lightly, like couldn't stand each other, but it's
fierce competitors.
It's purely professional, because you take that away, and now it's like we can laugh and joke and go have lunch But it was just funny, us cruising, having fun, because I thought if he's trying to pin it, I'm just going to not even see him. I'm just going to cruise. So we both cruised, because I was like, okay, I got a few laps in. Feeling not too bad. This is cool. You know what? This is nice. I like this. And then we sat around. One of the kids he trains had a flat. So I'm like, you can take my back for a few laps. He was going to do a 20-minute moto. We were sitting on the bank just shooting the shit, and we're like, he's like, am I supposed to pull him off? I'm like, I think about 15 minutes ago. He's going to run out of gas.
He just kept going. So, yeah, when we're riding, when I ride, the tracks are somewhat easy, we don't go fast, but we can figure at least the vet tracks out pretty quick. And so I like to take all these insides, and it just makes it a little bit more technical for me. And then I let Grant by. He's taking all these every outside. I'm like, well, that's why he stayed behind me, because he wasn't getting roosted.
And I wasn't using as much energy, because they build these lovely little glory berms around the outside. You feel like a hero.
Yeah.
I think Fro used to call them the hero lines. So I was just using the hero lines, because the way he takes the insides and pivots and power slides, I'm like, ooh, that's a knee injury waiting to happen.
That seems like a lot of work. I'm just going to sit down and rail this berm.
Yeah, so then we go out for our second time riding. And I go out there and ride. I'm like, okay, I'm going to pull off and maybe, ride behind Grant. And I pull off and ask my buddy, hey, where's Grant? He's like, oh, he's already undressed. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, good, because I was done too.
I did a few laps, and then I'm like, I'm going to go to the main track. And then I cased the crap out of the step up. I totally misjudged it. I was way off. Like, I faced it. I'm like, oh, that kind of hurt a little bit. I'm like, rode the bike back on the back of the truck, took my gear off. Yeah. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm good.
I cased the jump.
After the first little moto of whatever it was, 20 minutes or so, and then sitting around for a while.
Oh, you froze up.
I hit the wall. I'm like, I went out there, I'm like, I'm zapped. Like, I just didn't have anything to give. I felt like Gumby. Like,
yeah, if you haven't been riding, it'll whoop your butt.
Yeah, he got zapped, and I got vertigo. I'm like, dude, I can't. Hold on, fuck, I'm getting like dizzy. What's going on here? And we were talking about, man, we used to just come out here and do 45-minute motos, like,
and then run
on
home.
The same second.
Put your bike on your shoulder and run a lap.
Now go home and then you do training and this. I mean, it's like.
Now you're getting dizzy after one.
Oh yeah, like 4 laps. I'm like, hold on, Jesus.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Hey, you were saying when you went out and visited Brownie, that was, watching it online, I was like, that's pretty cool. That had to mean a ton to him, huh?
Yeah. No, I just one day just kind of had an intuition, just like, I need to go see Brownie for some reason. And then so I told Janelle, I said, hey, call his girl and just see what they would think. So she called his girlfriend and talked to her and said, hey, what would Brownie think if Ryno came out there? And she's like, oh, my God, it'd be amazing because nobody's here anymore. Like, the team doesn't show up. They showed up for 2 days. His family, I'm not going to get into it, but came in and just kind of wanted shit. A couple friends came, but that was it. Now they're alone by themselves. Nobody shows up. And so he said it would probably bring tears to his eyes. So I said, boom, made a ticket and flew there. And I told her, I said, don't tell him. I want him to be a surprise, So I was flying there, and then he wasn't supposed to come, but I guess he jumped in a truck and started driving or something, so the cops had to go get him because he's not supposed to be driving, Then he came home, so he got in the truck with her, drove to the airport. They knew they were picking somebody up, and he named every single person in the whole sport almost, but didn't name my name, And then he pulls up and he sees me. He's like, what, Ryno? And he comes out, dude, a little tear comes out, And so we hugged, we talked, this and that, and then he's like, hey, if you want to go here, go visit that person, this. I'm like, no, dude, I came here to chill with you. Put a blanket on, hit the recliner, and just watch the tour. And, for 2 days, we just sat there,
That's cool.
But it was cool. I helped him to do some stuff, but just talked to him a little bit about that next stage in life of now you're not downtown Mike Brown.
Yeah.
You're just Mike Brown.
The first death, huh?
Yeah, just like I'm not Ryno, I'm just Ryan again.
Yeah.
You're not Ping, you're David Pingree.
Yeah.
You're not the Hulu master or whatever you call it. Or you the Hulu master?
Actually, I am the Hulu master now. I went from the Zulu warrior to the Hulu master.
Yeah, I went from a rhino to a platypus.
Yeah. Did he talk at all about ambition to maybe get back on the bike and race, or has he thought about it, or was he just
the biggest thing he was saying is like, dude, I should have quit a while ago.
Yeah.
I should have stopped a while ago. He goes, there was a couple crashes that I had that kind of was like, hey, stop, but I didn't listen because we just were warriors,
He pushes so hard still, dude.
But he does it even on the bicycle. He does it everywhere, so it's just that mentality that it takes a while to get away from. I couldn't get away from it either. Even when I stopped racing, then, even practicing and be the fastest guy in the gym, I'd be the fucking fittest guy. And I went mountain bike racing and had to win my classes. It's just, you don't know anything different. Like, that's your drug, is that, that challenge and that push.
Yeah.
Well, even then, when you did off-road, I remember for Suzuki,
yeah,
like guys were like, dude, he's fast.
One GNCC I did, 04.
Yeah.
Palatka, Florida. Do you remember that?
Dude.
Do you remember that? I got stuck in a hole. It took me about 10 minutes to dig my bike out. And you guys came around and laughed at me on the last lap.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, I can't even remember who you were racing with. And I went, all right, I'm just going to hang on to these guys and just see what the pace is. I couldn't keep up with you guys.
Yeah.
Like, even just for a sprint, I'm like, you guys were gone.
Oh, dude.
And this was the last lap of a 3-hour freaking race.
Yeah.
It was really impressive.
Yeah, GNCC, after I did 2 of them, I said I'll never do that again. Because I have my wrists are bad, And so after 3 hours, dude, I couldn't wipe my ass for 3 days. You know, because you got to give a little bit of a twist.
No
you know what I
bend.
mean, to get
No
in there?
bend.
Yeah, there's no bend. But at that race, I hole shotted. And I go into the woods. I didn't know where I was going. I'm like, so I threw up my hand, had people pass me so I follow. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And then I got going. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna start blasting these guys. And all those water holes had like those little whatever
Palmetto roots and.
but they call them something heads.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Those. And dude, I hit one in the water, cartwheeled it, and almost drowned it.
Oh really?
I'm laying in this puddle, so bloop, 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 and then I had to get up, and then I got going again, started catching up, and then, dude, I swear, 200 yards from the finish, I hit some lapper and just fell over, just because he stopped, and I couldn't but start my bike. Done. Oh, my God, I was so pissed. Yeah, through 2 hours and 50 minutes of being there, I'd have been top 3. Didn't finish DNF. I said, that's it.
Who were you racing with? Who was the guys at
Probably
the time?
Barry
Watts? Was it
Barry
Shane?
or Hawk.
Barry Hawk?
Something Hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe Rodney Smith possibly at that time.
Barry Mahawk?
Yeah, Barry Mohawk. I don't know. But, dude, I did the first one. I broke my front fender off the first lap. Had to ride 3 hours with no front fender. That's weird.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
That's the strangest
Not
thing.
to mention all the shit flying in your face off the
Well, there
tire.
was parts of this course that were it was like a swamp. You couldn't see the ground. It was water, but it was only.
Yeah, and you get behind 3 guys, and one guy goes, choof, another guy goes, choof, and you're going this, and then all of a sudden you guys meet each other back in the trail.
That was the weirdest kind of racing.
Yeah.
Dude. It was so outside of I'm sure for you.
Oh, dude, that's why when I went to the work stuff, I was like, okay, this is like riding in the hills. So I just demolished these guys. I'd put a minute on them like in the first 2 laps.
Yeah, it's like another sport completely.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. So, I think a lot of people, like going back to Brownie's deal, I reached out to him on Instagram, but it's like I feel like a lot of people are in the same boat where it's like, I don't want to bug him.
Yeah.
He's going through this whole thing. But then if everybody says that, well, I don't want to bother him.
Then nobody
reaches out. Yeah.
So it's interesting you said that, and I'm gonna text him or reach out.
I just thought it was important because it's very easy. Like all of us were here. If I said, "Hey man, I have a buddy who got hurt. Can you guys donate?" You'd grab your phone and go, "Boop, okay," and put it down. But could you guys give these guys time?
Time's hard.
Could you give someone time? So I want to start like a foundation of like we give time. So when people are hurt, people are this and people are that, once they get out of the hospital, because it's still almost kind of like fake, because you're getting all this attention, you're getting all this care. Once you go home, that's when reality sets in.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, because I've had that happen a couple times.
That's a great idea, Ryno.
Broken necks and stuff. So let's say someone was hurt over here, and he just got out of the hospital. I say, hey Grant, we'll pay for everything. Boo boo boo. Would you go just spend a day with this guy? Because I think that would make such a difference. I wanted to do that with Aiden Zing's dad, but I was just too nervous, just like, hey, dude, I can't even imagine what you're going through, but I want to donate 10 hours of my time to you. Wash your truck, mow your lawn, do your dishes, take care of the bikes that you don't want to take care of, be a shoulder to cry on, an ear to yell at, whatever the fuck you need me for, here's my time. Here's my time.
That's a really cool idea.
So
they had like a meal train thing going around for them, and
yeah, so that's what we're working on, and I already have that foundation going.
Really?
Yeah, because I know because when I came away from Brownies, man, I felt like I won $100,000. Like I won a championship. Just this feeling inside. All right, so I'm like, man, I could do this. I could really go somewhere and just give somebody my time, no problem.
Isn't that crazy? Like one of the best things you can get is doing something for somebody else like that.
Yeah, with no reward, with nothing to get back.
But somehow it's the best payback ever.
Yeah, that's how you feel fulfilled is by giving.
Yeah. It's
counterintuitive. Without trying to get.
Yeah.
So
that's an awesome. Keep me in the loop on that. Dude.
Yeah,
that's
no,
really
I definitely.
Cool.
It's on the works. We already have this and all the. Dude, it's like Chinese to me to set anything up like that.
Yeah.
So that was my idea, and I think we're gonna do it. And then trying to do like a 3-part series thing. Like we teach you how to be safe on the motorcycle through this proper technique. We raise money to help you while you're in the, in the hospital or whatever, and then we give you your time. Right?
Yeah.
So there's 3 ways of trying to make, give back to these people of riding better, maybe paying for some funds, but then also, giving them time when the darkness sets in, when they go home and reality sets in. Because I've been there with my broken necks and back.
I was going to say, yeah.
And I'm out at my place off grid. It's 100 degrees out there and there's nobody there. Nobody there. And I'm just like, shit, dude, I got to water
that's
stuff.
That's
I gotta
probably
this.
why you felt the need to go see Brownie, because you had been through that. Because I remember you told me, you're like, man, when I got injured, it's initially everyone's like, speedy recovery, wish you all the best. You know, like some people are like, we'll donate. And then, like you said, you go home and it's like,
everyone else has gone on with their life.
Yeah,
that's the hard part.
It's crickets. It's crickets. And you're out there and you're by yourself, and then reality sets in. So, lucky for me, I could still move and do some stuff, right? But the person that can't, can you imagine the darkness that person would be going through? So just having someone show up that they respect out of their own time, out of their own goodness, I feel that would be so powerful.
Yeah.
So powerful.
Well, especially, dude, time, when you get to especially later in life, like where we're at, time is the most valuable asset you have.
It's the only thing you can't get. You can't
buy more of.
You can't get more of it. It's time.
So I think people would definitely appreciate that. That's crazy. Well, did Brownie seem like he's doing okay?
I think he's getting better. He's getting better. He had his struggles with his eyesight and his balance, but they said some kind of crystals in your ear or some bullshit, and they got to maneuver his head like this.
Yeah.
But they couldn't because his neck
dude,
yet.
People with vertigo. That's what they do. They put you in this thing and spin you around. It's all weird, but
well, I thought I was doing that on the motorcycle, but I still got dizzy.
Maybe you should join him for therapy next time. See if you can
take
cure
my
that.
shit, and they'd be like, "Well, you don't even move." I go, "No, fuck."
All right, let me move your head. Your whole body's twisted.
Yeah, I'm all fused and rotted. Yeah. So
what do you guys make of the MXON stuff? I wanted to say MXDN, because that's what it always was, but
it's motocross des nations.
Del-
That's why are we
Del-
changing it?
Nations.
We always want to change. We always want to change the historic part of our sport, right?
Yeah, I don't know why that changed.
We do. We want to change. We want to
bit.
change everything. We need to have some history in it. Just like Unadilla should be grass. Like, why do we have to change some things that are iconic, right?
Yeah,
That's a good point.
I think it's the fact that they've put like rhythm sections and stuff they had in there for a couple of years. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, Unadilla.
Yeah, guys,
dude,
come
that's
on.
a dangerous track now. It's so fast.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like with Unadilla, the grass was the cool, epic part. You go out there and the grass is this high.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys ever got to ride it when it was like that.
95. Well, it was still cut by then.
Yeah,
it wasn't
I
the
did
tall
a
grass.
92 MXGP, support class there. And
it was tall grass?
A tall grass.
Yeah. That was probably when it was still that old school. Sometime around 93, 4, 5, it started kind of changing.
Yeah.
I think they were doing more events. But the old videos of you guys, even in the 80s, that track was so unbelievably rough.
Yeah.
But that also kept the speeds down.
It totally.
Yeah.
The hill where the mechanics used to be,
Oh, you'd see guys getting bucked out of their seat like
They're waist
full
high.
flying W.
Yeah. And they were all just natural.
Yeah.
And they would just plant the seeds and this and that. The rain would, kind of smooth them out a little bit, but then they'd come back again in a different way. And that's what I think is wrong with the Nationals. It's just like it's dirt MotoGP. It's too fast. Like I was really bummed at watching Millville. I'm like, what in the world did you do to the whoops? There's 8 of them. Remember, I don't know if you guys raced that year where they extended them.
Yeah, yeah.
We had
My
60
first
this
year.
way and 60 this way, dude.
I remember.
And we'd get done with the whoops and come back, and it's like, oh, I got to go rest lap. Oh, my God. Dude,
Well, I think that change, a lot of that came more from, and I know this from being on the TV side, they wanted the lap times as like basically almost exactly 2 minutes so they could map out almost to the second how long the motos were going to be. And one of the things with those long areas, it was hard to do multiple cameras way down there. So the easiest thing was to have one shooting in and one shooting out, and they got the 2 angles they needed.
And I think EMS vehicles, because when they ran them way back that one time, there wasn't room for a road.
But this year they had they had 8 big whoops or whatever. Before it was just small ones.
Yeah. It was different.
Yeah, it was different. So you get a lot of this. Now it wasn't that. So, and the rest of the track was just like all the jumps now are this way. Dude, I raced Millville one time, and there was this 120-foot downhill double that you couldn't even see the landing.
Yeah.
And I think Pichon crashed off it once.
Well, there was one where Brandis. Remember when Brandis crashed?
Dude, it was
99?
so scary because that's when all the freestyle shit was coming out. So they're like, oh. And they started putting shit in there for us.
Yeah.
And then we'd, and I'm like, oh, Jesus. Oh, okay, made it. Next lap, oh, Jesus, okay, made it.
You remember Binghamton
Yeah.
had some big jumps, that big step down right after the start.
Yeah.
And then there was the
Hey,
triple
you know
on
who's,
the other
you know who's
side.
the first one who did that?
Was it you?
Yeah. Yeah, and
Attaboy.
press day came out rotten. I just jumped it, and then it all started. And then they had to cut the tree because we had a duck because the tree was so so close. Yeah.
That was sketchy.
Did you guys ride Redbud when back in the day, and the landing was just this little knob out there?
Oh, yeah. The triple there?
Yeah, just it was like a knob.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Laraco's Leap was just like a little bump out there.
Yeah.
And if you cased it, yeah, you went to the hospital, broken feet. Because the foot pegs were this big.
Yeah. Cut your foot in half. Yeah. Well, they announced this week, we haven't heard a rider announcement, but Roger DeCoster's stepping down. Probably time.
Yeah, no, it's good.
But two things. I want to hear who you guys think would be a good person to fill in that role. Mike Pelletier from the AMA is doing it this year, but I feel like long term, and we were talking about that beforehand a little bit, and you're like, I feel like it should be a racer. Like
no, it has to have somebody that has some credentials, some credibility, some history to him.
Yeah.
Like an RJ. Like
a good choice.
Like Rick Johnson.
Wardy.
Wardy would be good,
Stanton.
Stanton would be great. Bradshaw. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, those guys understand, well, one, how it was back when we were in our heyday.
Yeah, I think Wardy would be the best because he's been there the most. A Brock Glover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have plenty of guys.
Yeah,
that would be good.
That has some credentials to him that the people over there or whatever would be excited to see him. Nobody's going to go get this guy's autograph. I didn't even know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
But he knows he's going to get his autograph. And how's he going to tell these guys about racing and stuff like that or about lines and whatever?
Well, I think I don't know what happened, but it seems like it's just last minute. He's just going to fill in this year. I'm assuming they will find a replacement down the road. I was just curious who you guys thought would be good.
Yeah, I just think somebody that's had some history into the Motocross Day of Nations that was Team USA.
Yeah.
That's what I think would be best is having somebody like an RJ, a Wardy, a Glover, somebody that's had multiple years because they get it, they understand it.
It also brings a lot of credibility just right off the bat.
Yeah, I just don't know. For me, I don't know why DeCoster was in it for so long. I have no idea. How do you have an American? Does any other team in the world have somebody else from another country as their team manager?
I've always thought that was a little strange because I know Roger rode for Belgium, and I think they won as a team.
Yeah.
So it has seemed odd, even though I think in some people's mind is Roger's the man. But to me,
I
do agree.
I don't care for the guy.
When it comes to the nations, I've always thought it was odd having a Belgium who rode for Belgium running the U.S. team. I'm like, we have a lot of options.
Yeah, and he didn't do anything. He didn't. I've rode the Donations 3 times, and that guy didn't give me 1 ounce of advice.
Is that right?
Well, not 1 ounce.
Yeah, well, I guess you could speak to it.
Not 1 ounce. I remember my first Donations we did in Slovakia. I was on the 125 that year, and Laraco was supposed to go, and he broke his arm.
So you win the did you ride 500?
Yeah, I rode. Yeah. So then they asked me.
Isn't that when you and Nickel collided on the uphill?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you guys would have won.
Yeah, I was right next to Smets, and I was in my mind. I'm like, dude, I'm taking this dude out. I don't give a shit because we would have won. And so they picked me as I think it was Washougal, and they're like, hey, Laraco got hurt. You want to ride the Nations? I'm like, yep. And they're like, well, you got to ride at 500. I said, I don't care. I'm like, let's go. So they put me on the 500. I went there. First practice, I get done, and we get the times. And, dude, I'm like 5-6 seconds slower than Smets. I'm like, I almost started crying. I'm like, I've never been even 2 seconds slower than anybody. And DeCoster's like, well, maybe we picked the wrong man. I'm like, fuck you. And then so Mike Hooker said, hey, let's change the clutch in that thing. So we changed the clutch, and I got it down to like 4 seconds. And I was like, okay. The next day practice, it was 2 seconds. Then the first race was, maybe 1 second. The last race, I was faster. So it just took me time to get there. But DeCoster did. Maybe you did the wrong man. And then I did 2003. And
2000.
I did 2000. Yeah, we won there with Carmichael and Pastrana. And I don't even remember what he said.
What did you ride?
I rode a 252 stroke in the 500 class.
Yeah.
I always got the shit in the stick.
You just got the worst assignment.
Oh yeah, 252 stroke against Bartolini and all these guys on these big old 4 strokes.
Oh, and that track was a horsepower track.
Yeah.
St. John d'Angeli.
But in that,
Were you on a Paymo Honda?
Yeah, but in that year, Ricky got beat by Tortelli.
Yeah.
Pastrana got beat by Roncada, but I won my class. I was the only one on the.
I won the 125 that year.
Did you win the 125?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Individual.
yeah, the Hulu, the Hulu Warrior,
The Hulu Master.
the Hulu Master won it.
Yeah.
So I was
right.
on the,
Tortelli won the
Yeah.
250. I won 125.
and
You
I
won the
five
open.
and on the 252 stroke.
Did you go say something to Roger? Oh, maybe
Maybe
that brings the right guy.
Maybe you picked the wrong guy, Reggie.
That's the Frenchest Belgian accent I've ever heard.
I know. But hey, some Belgians speak French.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So anyway, so then 2003, I collided with this guy and landed, and his handlebar went in my chain and broke it. And I didn't come around. So Hoodie goes up to Roger, goes, "Hey, where's Ryan?" He goes, "What? Where? Oh, he's missing."
He didn't even know.
No, I'm like, "Are you watching the fucking race?" You know?
Wait, where was it in 03?
It was in Belgium.
Oh, was that shitty sand track?
Yeah, that they made.
Because Evans and Carmichael were battling.
Yeah.
Assen?
No.
No.
Assen's in Holland. But I know what he's
No, it's
talking
a
about.
one-off.
It was a
one-off.
man-made
Oh.
track. I remember watching on TV because South Africa at the last minute pulled the plug, so we didn't go.
Didn't have the Hulu Warrior there.
Yeah, we didn't.
Hulu Master.
We didn't
Hulu
have
Master.
we didn't have the Hulu financing. Sorry, it's no money. So we
We
couldn't
didn't do it.
Why are you gay? So we didn't go. So I was like, oh man, watch it on TV, and I'm like, yeah.
No, the
I
track.
can't say I was devastated.
No, the track was shitty.
It looked like
and it was dangerous. There's ruts going up the jump, sun coming in your eyes. I'm just like, holy shit. Yeah, I remember and you'd go up these
Zolder.
Zolder. You'd go up these big sand things and turn and jump down and go back up.
You were on a KTM 125?
No, I was on a 500. I was on a 450. And I had to ride 125 nationals all year.
Okay.
I rode 125 nationals all year, and they're like, "Oh, right now we put you on the 450." I'm like, "Great."
Sounds about right.
So if you were on a
Perfect.
450, they would have said, okay, you're doing the 125s.
Yeah, and I had arm pumps so bad the first moto.
I could totally
and I came out, I'm like, and I whiskey throttled. And you're supposed to like kind of jump down these hills, dude. One of those bad dreams. I'm like,
Oh, no.
like 20 feet in the air, 25 feet in the air on flat ground. Just, I'm like, why am I doing this shit?
Because you're patriotic.
Yeah.
I do remember it was fun just to see Carmichael on the 2-stroke, Everts on the 4-stroke. Complete different riding styles, yet they passed each other numerous times, and they had a gap on the field. Like, they were going fast. But, like, when you were talking about Smets being so much faster than you, he was one of the few guys. I remember watching him, and I'm like, he looks a little awkward on a bike. This guy's a world champion. And then you get the stopwatch out, and you're like, how in the world is he doing these lap times?
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to explain, but when you watch him, you're like, he looks like an intermediate
novice,
rider.
yeah.
Like, work on your technique, buddy. And then you get in a race with him, you're like, how in the world? But he was just, I don't know, he used this big awkward body where he'd carry so much corner speed.
That's
He
so
wouldn't
weird.
slow down much, and he wouldn't accelerate super hard. He always looked kind of in control, but I think his roll speed was really
Yeah, I
good.
think a lot of being a sand rider did that because Everts, and I'd always tell the riders that I'm working with, I'm like, it's about constant momentum. It's about traction. And I remember in Zolder, watching Stefan because he's in a different class than me, and I'm watching him. And he comes by and he's standing over the front in like 15th gear and and I'm like, okay, he's just cruising, cool. All of a sudden, Stefan Everts, fastest time. I'm like, the fuck, what?
Yeah, how?
Like, he wasn't even making sound.
Yeah.
And so, but it was just, there's something, even though Stefan was like a competitor, I was a fan of his riding.
Oh, it was beautiful to watch.
Yeah, just a fan of his riding. It was just like, wow.
I watched, this was in Jeremy's peak. I raced in the UK. What was it? Sheffield.
Yeah.
I did the Sheffield Supercross in '98, and Everts got second to McGrath. This is McGrath, peak McGrath, right?
Yeah.
And Everts shadowed him the whole main event. I mean, could not gap him at all. But it was like what you're saying. Jeremy's was like, when he was on it, it's
Yeah.
it's smooth, but a lot of
Not a BMX
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Everest looked like he was on a trail ride.
Yeah.
And he couldn't pass him, but he also, Jeremy couldn't drop him. You
Yeah.
know, and it was so weird to watch the two
Yeah,
styles.
it was like Mitch when he went. It was in Fox Hills, the Donations.
Yeah.
Henry, one of the best super mud riders. Henry, and I think Dowd was there, maybe one of the best
Yep.
mud riders,
And Carmichael.
and Carmichael or whatever. And he goes, Ryan, I've never seen anything like it in my life. It was like everybody else was on a different track, and Stefan was on his own track.
Yeah.
Everybody would get all caught up in this hill. He goes, Stefan would come down and stop and just go.
Wait for a power.
And they go
clear.
around everybody, and he goes, it was like he was on a different track than everybody there. And
I was there.
he lapped Henry, he lapped Dowdy.
He lapped everybody.
Yeah,
The whole field. He lapped Carmichael twice.
Well, Ricky wasn't good in the mud early on.
No. And the 125 of that track, I do understand when it was that money made a difference. But I was there sitting on the hillsides watching, just going, this doesn't make sense. How is this normal?
He's a stud.
yeah.
It was mind-boggling, that's for sure. But
If we were going to send a team to the Des Nations, I mean, the obvious choice is Chase.
Well, he has to talk. He's a Hulu warrior, so he has to talk
Okay, the
about
Hulu-
South Africa. Who would you send from South Africa? Hulu warrior.
trying to think who we have. I mean,
Is there anybody
Who do
race?
you have right
there's
now?
Camden McClellan. He would be the team leader. I don't know if you saw, but he got second on the weekend in Lommel in
That's right.
MX2.
Yeah, we sponsor him. So
He's big. I met him when he was a kid. We keep in touch, same thing
Yeah.
on social media and that. He was that next up-and-coming kid that I was curious, could he get to that level of
Yeah.
a world champion or something? And I think he got to a point, and then it's almost like he plateaued a little bit. But every now and then he shows some signs, like if you actually look at some of the lap times, he was the fastest guy on the track. I mean, I know DeWolf was probably just maintaining because that track's easy to crash on. But McClellan came from about 13th, 14th,
Yeah.
all the way to 3rd, and he had like the fastest lap. So he's a no-brainer for the team.
the other guy in the open class.
Yeah, but Flandrin, he rides under a Dutch license.
No, there's another guy, right? Rides a Yamaha.
Yeah, Colin Flandrin, number 10.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He is South African, but he's got like Dutch heritage.
Oh, okay.
Valandrinen.
So he might be on the Dutch team, but it's unfortunate that he won't be for South Africa. And then I think, there's not even like a Swanepoel or Rattray left, in America. So they're going to have to pull whoever's winning 250 and 450 in South Africa, which is probably going to be, I'm trying to think, Darrow.
Do they have bikes there, like motorcycles, or is it like the wood bikes that they push with legs? Huh?
We have all of the above.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have bikes with where the VIN numbers are scratched off. We have all kinds of unique. I think they call them prototypes.
Yeah, we have a bike that's half Yamaha
Yeah.
welded into a Suzuki and welded into
Yamazuki.
I think they've got
Seen those.
I think they've got a few decent riders to choose from, but it's not. I mean, I think now obviously the number one goal is make the A main, like get in the A main, like that's got to be a priority for them. And then once they're there, I think it's for a lot of these guys, it's going to be a learning experience. But if they got a top 10, I think it'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
But
That's got to be tough as a country that you're like, well, this is our best guys.
Yeah, the best guys hope we even qualify for the main event.
It's a lot of money to spend for that.
Yeah.
So who do we send?
I would. Duh. Tomac, Sexton, Deegan.
Yeah.
Done.
Do you
Done.
think they'll go?
Yeah.
I think Deegan
Just
will
because
go.
it's close, and why wouldn't you? And again, why wouldn't you want to ride the Donations in your own country?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And
I think if it was
and how much flack would you get when you say you didn't want to?
But they've been doing it. This is kind of a point of contention over the last decade. As a
Yeah,
lot
but-
of guys are turning it down.
But I understand if you have to go to Europe.
yeah,
You have to do this long travel, this and that. But when it's just 3 hours from you guys,
yeah, that's a good point.
you
Because
can
both
you can just make a weekend out of it. You go to Europe, you're making a 10-day trip.
Yeah.
So now there's the jet lag, and for a lot of those guys, if you think about it, all three riders you just listed, 2 are switching teams and 1 is switching classes.
well, he's going to still ride a 250 in Supercross. So Deegan doesn't have any changes coming.
Yeah.
He might ride the 450 a little bit outdoors.
Sorry,
but
I forgot. He's Supercross
Yeah.
250.
But
450,
Chase and Eli are both switching teams, one to Cowie and one to KTM, which still seems weird to me. But I I think you're right. For a stateside race, they'll probably stick
I
around
think
and
so because, but the thing is why I think America struggled the last few, quite a while is like it's when I don't know if the nations is different now, but the timing. So we get done with the nationals, and there's a month.
Yeah.
So now these guys have already tested Supercross.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hey, I got to
Shift
get back
gears.
into outdoors,
Yeah.
and they haven't been racing. You put a racehorse into the stable for a while, it's going to be off a tick.
Yeah.
The GPs, the weekend right before the next weekend's the nations, so they're still hot.
They're fresh.
Yeah, so that's where I kind of see
Well,
maybe
we
a
have-
little bit of gap.
We have now the SMX series
Oh,
rolls
yeah,
through, right?
that's true.
But
Yeah.
that's a hybrid.
Yeah.
I would say it's more Supercross, probably, settings-wise.
Yeah.
So still not ideal for our guys, but
No.
no excuse. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, whatever. But so I think those guys will go. The top class, I think, will be Australia. The top team will be Australia. I don't know who their 250F guy is, but to
They
beat
just
Jet,
announced,
to beat Jet and Hunter,
yeah,
I mean, come on.
They've got to be the favorites going in.
Yeah, well, they're number one. They won last year.
Yeah. Even again for this year, just even if
Yeah.
our best guys go, it's like
Yeah,
Hey.
because Deegan could beat their guy, but if they beat
Yeah.
Sexton and Tomac,
yeah.
done deal.
I would say don't overlook the Dutch
Yeah.
because we saw what Hurlings did at Ironman a few years ago. He kind of embarrassed everyone.
Yeah, but he's not the Hurlings anymore.
He's.
I mean, he got back up there and then he broke his collarbone again. I mean, dude, that guy has to have 86 broken bones.
It's crazy.
But you have to admire his fucking just like I mean, I've never seen anybody like so just determined. You know what I mean? I mean, dude, with all the injuries that he's had, and he still comes back. And I mean, he's won 111 GPs. He has 200 and something moto wins.
That's crazy.
I mean, dude, it's phenomenal.
Those numbers are wild.
But only
huh?
five. But only 5 titles
Yeah.
because of injuries.
he's a
only
lot-
5. Dude, he sucks.
I know he sucks.
Why are we
He's-
even talking about
I know
him?
he sucks at winning championships.
Yeah.
Well, he's a lot
No.
like Stu. I mean, if he could have just stayed healthy, could have,
Yeah.
would have, should have, but like, who knows how many titles he
Oh,
has?
dude, he'd have more than Stefan because Stefan has 10. 10 world titles. Cairoli has 9,
It was.
and the Hulu Warrior has 1.
He's the Hulu master. You got to
Sorry,
get it right.
fucking Hulu Master, man. Damn it.
Well, there's 2 things I can't stand. One, people who are intolerant of other people's cultures,
Yeah.
and the Dutch. I'm just kidding.
well,
Austin Powers reference.
so it's the Lawrence
Don't hate me,
brothers
Vital MX community. It's just a joke
and Carl Webster is their third rider. But
for Ozzy.
yeah, that's a good team for sure. But like I said, with the Dutch, they've been another country that I've felt like for many years had 2 good riders, and then
Yeah.
you could call it a B rider they had to pull in. Now when you look at it, they have De Wolf, obviously
yeah.
fast,
Yeah.
Hurlings.
Yeah.
Now you can choose between Koldenhoff and Vlaanderen
Yeah.
because they've both alternated over the years. So that's a solid team when you can pick 3 of those 4 guys.
It's honestly a little bit embarrassing, as big as the United States is, that our 3 best struggle to beat Belgium, which is the size of like Connecticut.
Yeah. It's like a booger.
Yeah, they're pulling 3 legit dudes out of a booger and beating us.
Yeah. 3 legit dudes
It's
out of a
impressive,
booger.
like some
Yeah.
of those countries over there.
well, I would assume Belgium's going to be the Coonan brothers.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who would be the third guy.
Well, Sasha, I mean, I've never seen anybody crash so many times in my life.
Yeah, there's
Like,
been some good.
holy shit, that guy crashes more than anybody I've seen in my life. No, I'm
He's going-
serious.
he's going
It's not
for
from
it.
a lack of trying,
No,
that's for sure.
no,
Like
it's not
when
a lack
you watch,
it's not a lack of hole shots too. The little dude's this big and he does hole shots everywhere. But I mean, dude, he crashes everywhere. I mean, if you watch the GPs, it's just like three times a race.
yeah, I think
it's-
at Lommel, the one motor, I think it was maybe the first motor, I think he fell 3 times. But he still had a good result.
He's going for it. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Still get a good result. What about the other end of the spectrum here? What about Loretta's? That just went off. I haven't been since '92. I know you went back and rode
Good
a
thing,
2-stroke.
I didn't follow it at all. I followed at 0. I mean, I know that little girl did really good, and that's so cool. And I love that
Grayson Kylie.
because that's what I want. I've always kind of been had a little bit of a little FU to whoever's running motocross now. That why don't you have a women's class? Women love the sport too. Women buy the parts. Women buy the bikes. Women have passion. Women have this. So they're a part of this community. Just because they might not be as exciting as the guys to watch, they still need an opportunity.
Yeah.
They still need their own credibility. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I know they brought back the WMX or whatever series this year, and that helps a lot.
And then, over here you got Kayla Mickelson?
Yeah.
Michaela?
Yeah,
Anyway.
she's going out with
KK?
Yeah, going out with Parker Ross.
Yeah. She rips.
Yeah.
Like when she's out on the track and I jump out, I'm like, okay, if I'm going to get in anywhere near her, I need to be on my game.
Yeah, or you just pull up. Oh, hold on, I can't see real quick.
I got something
in my eye.
She's fast.
I hate it when that happens. Shake the goggles out.
And she's getting, she's not dominating either. There's Lala Turner. She's super fast.
Yeah.
Like they're competing against the boys. It's
no,
pretty
it's good. And
impressive.
so because I always thought that a girl could qualify for Supercross and do good, but they have to have the upbringing. They need to be trained correctly, and they need to be trained like a man. You can't treat them like a woman, so to speak, because of what you're going into. The difference is like massive. So they have to train in the gym. They have to They have to be riding Supercross. But then it also takes a certain type of woman. You know what I mean? One that doesn't have this fear or this maybe lack of confidence type of thing, which I saw a lot of them, back in the day, just kind of, they didn't have that little pizzazz to them. You know what I mean?
Well, they have no testosterone. This is the problem. This is why it's going to be a struggle for any of them. They can compete when they're young.
So you're saying if I had a girl, I could just pump her full of testosterone and she'd be, because we got a little 5-year-old at home. I can start pumping with testosterone.
Get her on the juice. I think that's her best bet.
I think so. It'd be a little science project. She'd come out with like 4 eyes. So I'm like, she can see everything.
Yeah.
She can see straight. She can see sideways. And we got one in the back of the head too.
Don't do that. But I just think they're going to always be at a distinct advantage. You can't overcome that hormone. You know what they should have focused on is like what Vicky Golden's doing. Do freestyle. Because you can do that stuff without having like the things that it takes to become a really good racer.
Vicky Golden could have made it if she got trained and started earlier. Because her technique is very sound.
Yeah.
She's fast. She's clean. She can jump. She's not that, but she just wasn't trained as a racer from the get, and then got onto a Supercross track early. That's where I think the thing's going to be, is like this racing girl or whatever her name is, that if they can keep this going and get her onto a Supercross track and get that into her blood, it's not going to be like foreign, and it's not going to be so scary. And you usually have a little bit more kind of I can't say this, but what do you got to say? Ovaries, like not balls, to when you're younger than when you start getting older, right?
But
right?
You think where is a girl's ceiling in the sport? Not to be sexist, but I'm just saying. Do you think they can make a night show? Do you think they can make a main?
Yes.
Do you think they could win?
I think they can make a night show for sure. The right start, the right race, the right guys kind of getting stuck in the back, falling over, they could make a main event. Win? No, it's not going to happen.
I don't. Yeah,
it's not going to happen.
I think it's a bit of a stretch there.
Yeah.
But one of the things that could happen is if you get girls that are good, that are making the show and all that, I'm hoping that'll start making the wives and girlfriends not just go because their husband's really into it, but like, I want to go and we're going to support our girl because girl power. That way you really get the female audience behind it, buying T-shirts, getting involved. I think that's an avenue to grow the sport. We always talk about how to grow it. And sports are obviously predominantly followed by men. Back to the NBA, WNBA point. It's like, if you look in the crowd, it's still probably majority men watching.
This is why I think it's sick what Vicky does, because she's doing freestyle at the highest level.
Oh, yeah, Vicky's badass.
And
Dude.
she's cool as shit.
Oh, yeah, and she's fit and this, and she gets it. I trained her 1-2 days about a couple months ago, But
she'll jump. She'll do some jump stuff.
She came in, and she's like, so what do you think? I'm like, I go, well, technique-wise, there's nothing I can really teach you. Your sound is shit.
Yeah.
But now approach-wise, let's maybe talk about a few things. But, there wasn't much to teach her.
Yeah.
You know, just maybe share with her that made a difference. But I mean, she was sound.
Yeah, she's gnarly.
Like one of the most sound riders I've helped in the get-go.
She's also someone that likes coach. Like she
Yeah.
enjoys someone trying to pull the best out of her. You know.
So you got to think that the half pipe's what, 30 feet, right? 30 foot tall.
Yeah, 20, 25,
They're
25.
going way above.
And they're 30. So now you're 60 feet above the ground.
Tell me when you guys watch that.
And I'm like, holy shit.
You guys know
son.
how a bike works, the gyro, whatever. Like, tell me when you watch that, you don't think if you did that, you'd go, rah, and then the back end would just start falling. Because you know what I mean? You start to turn this way, and it's going to want to come back.
Yeah. You got to make that pivot. Like you got to bring the body down to get that front end to come down.
Yeah, you have to make it do this, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can't just go left or,
Well,
or
I've
right,
also
you know?
thought, imagine you come and you're like, I'm going to go higher than anyone. I've saved this for the very last run. And you pin it and you bottom out and then the compression comes back. And now you're going, because the landing might be long, but from side to side, you've got 3, maybe 5 feet max to work with. If you're a couple feet that way, you're smashing the top of the wall. A couple feet that way, you're flat landing and breaking bones.
Yeah, imagine it does come back this way on you a little bit, and you land at the bottom with no transition. You're done.
You're done. Just done. They just like
just dig a hole and bury
you. They just cover you up.
You just push the landing on top of you.
He's so far in the ground, we just cover him up. Yeah.
That's sketchy stuff.
We'll take some loose dirt in this cover.
Yeah.
What do you think between Kunin and Fevre? They're down to like less than 10 points or 10 points
like
ish.
8-9 points, yeah. How many
Five rounds to go?
Oh, 5.
Still some racing left.
Yeah. Well, for me, speed-wise, Kunin, you know, I think all day. Kind of just he seems to have that. I think maturity, maybe, you know, Fevre, you know.
And maybe the consistency.
Brett Favre.
Yeah. I think Fevre, to me, and I haven't looked at the schedule to see what the tracks are like.
Yeah.
But when Ryno can attest to this, but I feel like, especially in 99, 2000, when I was over there, you know, if you went to the French GP, like in the top 10 could be 7 French guys. And then you'd go to Belgium in the sand, and it was all Belgium, Dutch guys. Now you look at someone like Fevre, who is French, really good on hardpack, really good in the sand, really good in between, good in the mud. Like, he's just a well-rounded guy. That's the only reason I think
You'd lean that way?
I would just lean a little bit towards Fevre is because I think, like Ryno said, the maturity, the consistency. I don't see him making the big mistakes. I think he's going to probably be on the podium probably every moto or miss one because of a first lap takeout or bad start. Maybe he gets 4th or 5th, but he's pretty much on a bad day still going to get on the podium.
Yeah, because you got to think, you know, that's why speed-wise, Kunin was 30 points behind or more, and now he's only 8. So that just shows who's been faster, right? But Romain has just been there. Now when the championship starts to go down to the nitty-gritty, whoever's in the championship lead always go to here. Just like when we were battling for the championship, we started to be so much faster than third place.
Yeah.
Right? Just something happens. You know, just it's weird. Just something happens. And so those two will start to
just the stakes are so high, you just elevate.
Yeah, I think so, because I just remember battling Steve Lamson and, you know, pulling like 50 seconds on Brownie in third, and just, you know, it happens even with Carmichael and Stewart, and it happens with, you know, whoever it is in the championship, even the Supercross this year, like those two guys that were battling for the championship just were gone, you know, Sexton and Webb just seemed like they just had something extra. But I think because you're willing to
risk more at that
willing
point.
to risk more, or you just there's that intensity there,
Yeah.
or the other guys are just like, yeah, you know, the championship's out of their mind.
Yeah, I just want a podium. Like, I'm good.
Or there's
like
not
there's
not $1 million there's not $1 million carrot going like this too. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of things people will do for $1 million. You know what I mean?
What were you guys' race win bonuses back then? 03.
Fuck yeah.
And championship. Do you remember?
I think
his was 500,000.
$500,000 per race win?
No. Championship.
Championship. Okay.
Yeah.
No, they came with a bonus program, and
I think his was 500,000. Mine for second was because I came in late, to it because that I think it was like 150,000.
I got nothing for second.
Yeah, I got 150 because they didn't have much they didn't have much salary at all. So I said, just give me huge bonuses. So to win, it was $50,000.
I think I was getting 25.
Yeah, I got 50 because I didn't have much of a salary.
Yeah, right.
So Hangtown, I went 1-1, made 50 grand.
Well, dude, I got blown away this week when I heard Jeremy, because we were talking about race win bonuses and how it's kind of looked over the years.
$7,500.
And you were telling me Jeremy was making for the first 50 wins?
50, I think, was $7,500
total.
Total.
That is crazy.
Yeah, if it was nowadays, that's $5 million. Right? $5 million, $100,000
a win.
Yeah, $5 million.
So guys are making $100,000 right now to win a Supercross from the manufacturer,
if not
more.
If not more.
Yeah. Plus you've got their gear, their goggles, whatever
Yeah.
that might throw them a little bone.
Yeah. Then probably one to 1.5 for championship.
And Jeremy was making $7,500 per win for 50 of those wins.
But that was the thing we were talking about. You're like, oh my God, did you hear the contract that Jet signed?
Yeah.
Yeah, $20 million. Okay, but that's spread out for 5 years, so that's really only $4 million. That's Carmichael made that. Carmichael made more than that.
Yeah.
I think Sexton and Tomac are probably 2-3. 2 right in there. So it's not like a huge jump. It was just nobody has signed for 5 years.
Yeah, I think it's
that's
the duration of it. That's
5 years, and then that big number of $20 million. But it's only $4 million a year. That's not that much if you look at other sports. Most people, you get a baseball player, football player, basketball player going, "Yeah, we'll give you $4 million a year." They're like,
yeah, they laugh.
or
that's below league minimum.
Yeah, or Formula One driver. They're making 30. I mean, back when Schumacher was winning, he was making $90 million a year.
Is that right?
Yes.
He had a few years, the last few years when he won with Ferrari with endorsements and everything.
Yeah.
He was over $100 million because Schumacher was the first athlete to earn over $1 billion. Then it was Tiger.
Yeah.
Jordan's done it, but it's mostly since retiring.
Yeah.
So they can't really count that. But I think to this point, if you talk from the sports, because you could say, well, what about A-Rod? He's a billionaire. Yeah, well, he became a business tycoon as well, same as Shaq and these guys. But if you're talking earnings as an athlete, it's, I believe, still to this day, it was Schumacher and then Tiger.
But but those are ball and sticks. So you got to think about and then you take out Formula One. Let's just go to motorsports or whatever, or your motorcycles. Valentino is making $30 million a year, right?
Really?
Oh yeah, like Marquez makes 25, I think, a year or whatever.
Yeah.
And everything. Tade, who just won the Tour, he makes I think $30 million a year or some shit.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean it's like so. Don't get that's where we're like wait.
But you just can't compare our sport to others. Our sport is so small.
But also you can't compare to we have to motocross 4 times a week. You don't Formula One 4 times a week. You don't MotoGP 4 times a week.
No, it's not fair.
No.
All things being fair, motocross athletes should be paid so much more.
Yeah, but our sport's like a booger.
It is it's a booger on the sports.
I saw when
world.
they posted the Jets contract, and some people were like, whoa. And my comment was, he deserves every penny.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, the most dominant guy in the sport right now is getting a reasonable contract.
Yeah, I think he deserves more.
We could all discuss, and I think a lot of us in agreement for how small the window is, how high the risk of, one crash. I mean, that could be the end of it, you know. It doesn't even mean paralyzation or anything like that. Get your wrist fused, or just something that doesn't enable you to be that dominant guy, a hip, a leg.
Yeah.
A
It
foot,
doesn't take
injury.
much, huh?
Like a head injury.
head injury, yeah.
These guys that get they screw up an ankle or they screw up a knee. I screwed up knees my very first year racing, and so it was a problem throughout my whole career.
Yeah.
Nationals, I was kind of hesitant to put it out in ruts.
Yeah.
So you just take a wrist or a shoulder that gets pulled out of socket and back in.
or a wrist like this. That's all. That's that put that because my trajectory in racing was just like, whoo, and then I broke my wrist and it kind of flattened out and I started having more crashes. I mean, I went from 80 beginner 1984, 1990. I finished 5th in my first national. First. Just like it was quick, and then first 250 Supercross was 91, finished 9th. So it was that weekend after that, I broke my wrist, and it just seemed like everything kind of flattened out and got really bumpy. and it's just because it threw my technique off.
Yeah.
It threw my body off, my balance, And but the thing is, the problem is Jet's making 20. This guy down here in 12th, he's making 100,000, if that.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? So that it's just like, whoa. So that's where the sport needs to come in and start to put more sponsorship or payment into the purse. Like, I do not understand how, excuse me, nowadays and age, we can't find one sponsor that'll throw in $1 million. They're a headline sponsor, whatever it is, $1 million, but that $1 million goes into the purse. It doesn't go into the higher-ups' pockets. Like, hey, guys, just give a little. Just stop. Stop just, like, every time you walk by, you squeak because you're so tight and greedy. Like, just give a little, So nowadays and age, $1 million, dude, there's people that have that in the bottom of their shoes.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Well, there's companies looking for a write-off. And if they maybe know that that's exactly what it's going for, it's going to be good PR for them. Like, look, we're helping the sport.
that $1 million goes and you take it out and you put it into the purse all year long. Like, do something that way. Give back something, you people. Do you have to take every single dollar? Do you have to take every dollar of every sponsor? You can't give it back to the riders, not even a little bit.
Well, when
That's
you
what
look
I
at
don't
when
understand
you
it.
look at it too, like say like SMX, they're like, their whole promotion is there's $1 million on the line. It goes from $1 million and then dramatically drops down even for second. But you go look at say PGA and other events. You look at NASCAR like Daytona 500. You go, okay, the winner gets $2.5 million. You're like, that's not bad. Second gets 1.8, third gets 1.6, 1.5, 1.45, and then you're like, the dude in 25th got $500,000.
Yeah.
You're like, badass. No wonder 60 cars try to qualify for 40 spots.
Yeah, but the thing is, for me, okay, you make these 3 races, and all of a sudden you have $10 million to give out. Where was that money? Where was that money before? Why couldn't you put that $10 million into the purse that's already there?
I think that came about because
World
it was a
Supercross.
new.
World Supercross.
That had something to do with
That's all that came about is the squash World Supercross. Guaranteed.
Yeah. You got competition
Yeah.
breeds that, right? Like, so something else popped up. They had to make a better deal. And I think for most racers it is, like it's worth staying and doing those rounds. There's a lot of money in it.
Yeah, there is.
The problem with finding a sponsor, to just drop $1 million, it sounds so easy for somebody that's that big, but it's like they don't even know about us.
No.
That's what I'm saying. Motocross doesn't even, it's not even on anyone's radar, not even a blip.
Yeah, well, that's where the higher-ups need to stop policing the Jets and the Deegans. Those are the only 2 that are going to make our sport mainstream because they have a personality. They have they have a personality about them.
Yeah.
They have an FU about them. They have a little bit of a style about them. You know what I mean? Yeah. We have to get somebody to put us on the market or put us on the radar. And if you're always trying to police everybody so that nobody knows about your sport, so to speak, so then you make sure that you keep your quota every year, which it kind of seems like, is like, because if, let's say, they had this and then a big company came in like Liberty Mutual that bought F1, bought MotoGP, comes in and says, hey, we want to buy you. Well, they're out. Yeah, they could be sitting pretty, but they're not going to be able to walk around with their chest high anymore. We're not the people. We're not the rulers. And that's what I see in motocross. It's almost like they want to keep it a little bit more low key so that they can pad their wallets and pad their egos.
Well, you could argue that it's actually we've lost ground. Look back in the 90s, 2000s-ish. Jeremy and Travis or Jeremy and Ricky that went on the Tonight Show?
Yeah.
You
got
got
1-800 collect,
Pastrana was like bigger than life. He was on everything, still is.
Yeah.
So Jed is definitely that guy to do it, and Deegan.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know, man. You don't really see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it doesn't go there because to me it's the most exciting sport there is.
Okay, well let me ask you this: do we want it to get bigger? Do you really want it to get bigger?
Yeah.
I think the more money that has come into it,
the more politics and
you get all the things that come with more money.
Yeah.
And I think the sport kind of loses its soul.
That's what happened. What was that surf movie where they kind of talk about it, where the guys were like, we all wanted to earn our fair share and, get the big sponsors. And they're like, when that came, we didn't surf. That was his team. That was his.
Yeah.
And they're like, the brotherly love of being together in a sport went away, and it became about competition,
business,
and
Yeah.
pleasing sponsors and press conferences and events.
Well, it's the same thing now, is that nobody can be who they want to be because they have social media and they have to protect sponsors. Back in art, we had all been fired.
Oh yeah,
Every single one of us in the 90s would have been fired.
we just did a live post race show up at Washougal, and I had Chuck's son, Glover, and Damon Bradshaw come up.
Oh, geez.
And we were just talking about kind of
Chuck's son didn't have to hold in his words, but Brock and Damon did.
Yeah, but Damon, he'll still tell good stories. And I said, we were just talking about the difference in times, and I said, I know you guys have some good rental car stories. And I asked Damon, I said, do you remember the rental car jump in Buchanan, Michigan? The one that was behind that big, it was like an old Walmart store or something.
Yeah.
And it went from the bottom parking lot to the top.
Yeah.
The first time I did it, you were driving, and I think you blew the whole motor out of your car. I was with him and Button, Phil and Randy Lawrence. I don't remember who else. And it was like a bottom parking lot and then a ramp up to a top parking lot.
Yeah.
And these guys would go every year and just send Chevy Corsicas or
yeah,
whatever.
30 feet.
It was like something out of a movie, dude. I go, let me out. I don't want to be I'm out of this. Like, I was terrified. Ryno back then and behind the wheel was like, might as well have a kamikaze pilot driving. So
it was game on.
I'm standing like right at the corner of the building, so if something happens, I can at least duck behind it. I just hear him, this thing's shifting and winding out.
Bam!
And it goes quiet like an old Dukes of Hazzard episode. It's just silence, and this car is floating through the air. But boom, sparks and shit flying, and oil starts streaking out behind it. Just done. Car was done right there. And he gets out laughing. Hey, call Avis or whoever it was.
Yeah, we hit a curb.
Well, I
every weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So
We
Damon's like,
crashed.
oh, yeah, I remember that jump. I sent it good off that.
Yeah, we crashed each other. Like Millville, we come in and go, yeah, rent a car. You guys here for the motocross? Yep. Nope. They stopped renting to us.
I remember.
I got shut down at Redbud, and I'm like, I didn't even do anything. But I think in 01, when we left, it was pouring rain, so we're doing handbrake turns on the grassy hills, and Brandis, he slid his car and just kept coming, and hit the back of my car. So of course I get there, and I'm like, can't say one of the other riders was screwing around. So they're like, I said, yeah, I was at the race, came back to my car, and someone must have backed up into me. Next year, got a Redbud. Oh, you here for motocross? Yep. We don't have any cars for you. I'm like, I have a reservation. They're like, yeah, but we don't have a car for you.
Yeah, we don't have a car for you.
I'm like, really?
Yeah, dude.
So then I'm like, people walking out, hey, how you doing? Ping, good to see you. You don't happen to have a spare seat in the back, do you? Like, why do you need a ride? Oh, there was a mix-up with the reservations.
Dude, I got so many stories. Like going to Redbud or Bud's Creek, there in Bryan at the time, Deegan was racing. He's like, hey, man, can you take me to the race? I'm like, yeah, sure, get in. We pull out of the airport, and there's this big roundabout, big roundy thing. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm like, yeah, front end push. Boom, into the curb. Blows the wheel off. I made it 200 feet out of the thing, and I come back and the thing's all, and the guy's like, man, what happened? I'm like, dude, these drivers out here are shit. This lady just came and pulled right in front of me. I had to whip it, and I hit a curb, and he's like, wow, yeah, you know what? They are. It's amazing. Here, I have another car for you over here. I'm like, you got to talk to some of these drivers around here.
They were politicians.
Yeah, and then we were testing out at Castillo Ranch, me and Hoodie, and they had a rent-a-car, so we're going back. And I'm like, oh, check this out, dude. I'm fucking Colin McRae, yeah. Boom.
Rolled it.
Boom. Dude, on the hood, onto the wheels, and we're sitting there. Doors are off the hinges.
Was this
like,
KTM days?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember hearing the story.
Oh, shit. And so we're driving down the freeway, and people are looking at us because the windows are blown out, and the car's kind of crooked. And we drive into the rent-a-car place, and the guy's like, are you here for Hertz? We're like, no, we're Avis. He's like, whew. So we go up to the Avis thing, and she's like, how's the car? I go, well, yeah, there was a problem. And she's like, what is it? I'm like, well, we're out there kind of looking for some land and things like that. And I was telling him, hey, check this out. And I look up, and the cow came out. And I turned it, and I went down the hill, and we rolled it. And she's like, oh, baby, are you okay? I go, oh, I have a cut here, And she's like, oh, as long as you're okay. I'm like, yeah, cool. It wasn't even on my car. I have no idea. I didn't even know whose car it was.
Oh, my gosh.
Never got anything back. Yeah, Castillo, Jim had to buy one up at Mammoth. We fucked it up so bad. Like, he brought it back to the rental car place. She's like, no, you're buying this thing. It cost him like $10,000. Dude, myself, Mike Craig, Bader Monet, and all these guys just destroy
So
them.
this is my point. None of these guys today get to have not that we should be out destroying cars, like it was dumb juvenile stuff, but
No, it was fun.
none of the fun though, right? Like they can't.
No, they can't do
Everybody's
anything.
recording you all the time.
Yeah, they can't
Well, look
do
at
anything.
Deegan was doing donuts in a parking lot, and it was a big ordeal.
Yeah.
You got arrested.
And I'm like, really?
Yeah, we used to go up and put the trays under
McDonald's
our cars.
trays,
Trays
yeah.
under the back and hit the e-brake when it was a front wheel drive, and just
And there was like it was like those little fun carts that would just spin around on themselves.
yeah.
Well, I don't know. That's why people always talk about how we could grow the sport, we could do this, and I'm like, I just think it loses its cool the bigger it gets.
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, growing it is to give back to the riders more.
Yeah,
that's
I
the
do
only
get that.
thing.
I do get that.
You know, that's the only thing. Because to me, you're not going to bring more participants in. I think it's
Well, that's what's happening.
I think
going
it's at
the
its,
other direction now.
I think it's at its max. You're never going to make the sport grow participant-wise because, one, the bikes are too expensive. They just got more expensive. Two, it's too dangerous. Three, there's no place to ride.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
just cutting down. I heard Paula might even be closing
That'd be a big blow
because
for Southern
because
California.
they're going to put a golf course there.
Is that right?
Rumors. And then four, parents aren't making athletes anymore. They're making duds. And look at these kids that come out. You know?
Some real paste eaters, that's for sure.
Dude.
Window
So,
lickers.
so you have all this happening. You know, the sport's growing by fans, but I don't think it's going to ever grow participant-wise. The e-bikes could bring in more, but they need to have their own – they need to stay over here and not come into the motorsports. If you have a series that's allowing electric and motor race together, that's a stupid idea. Mm-hmm. Because if Grant was behind me, let's say even back then, you know, or at Kauai, and he was on an electric bike, I would have had no idea where he's at.
Yeah.
And so I'd be, okay, brah, and he's like, zing, and then we collide. Because we're so used to going off noise, knowing if someone's coming up the inside, knowing if someone's over here, knowing if someone's whiskey throttling it, going to land on you, right?
Well,
it's so important.
They have the Formula E class, and they're saying, well, the one good thing is we can race them in the cities. And I'm like, that's the only way they're getting any crowd attendance. And they're showing everyone on their balcony. I'm like, well, if there's a race and you can't get out of your street and you're fucking on house arrest, you're going to go over your balcony and go, here.
Who are these assholes keeping me in my house?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. But like they have a Moto E class. So,
Yeah.
But no.
Nobody
it's not a
watches it.
fan sport. I mean,
No.
I love MotoGP, but if it was electrified, I would never go to a race ever again.
Just think if you went to a supercross, there would have to be a big announcement. Okay, crowd, silence. Because the crowd would be louder than the bikes. So I always thought, like, okay, if the e-bikes came in, have like an urban supercross, like in Barcelona, New York, Paris, whatever, down the streets, metal ramps,
Supermoto style
no
kind of.
noise, you know, no dust, no pollution, down stairwells and stuff like that, and just, I don't know, just like make something different.
Yeah.
Make something different. You can't bring it into Supercross
keep the
because
core the same.
it's going to be – you're going to lose fans in an instant. That's what happened to F1 when the noise went down because they're trying to be politically correct. They lost so many fans. So now they're talking about making it more noisy.
Well, now they're talking about going back to V8 or V10s.
Yeah.
The problem is, for example, like Audi, they're saying, well, hang on a second. We've been developing this hybrid car for years. We're coming into Formula One, and now you're talking about changing the V8. Like, that's not fair.
Yeah.
So there is some politics in the sense of there's like Ferrari's like, hell yeah, you know, Red Bull's like, hell yeah, but then Mercedes and Audi, and I also think those companies are a little more on the liberal side as well.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we're going down the hybrid path.
No, we want to go down the hybrid
Und
path,
must
okay?
stop.
We stop the noise. It hurts my ears.
Jaguar just threw a dildo at the person up on stage.
Well, look at Jaguar, man.
Dude, they're
I
done.
think they're done. Like, as in, I wouldn't be surprised if we see them file for bankruptcy here in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I think there's an announcement
Hey.
coming soon that e-bikes are going to be allowed into a certain series that people will be able to watch. That's about all I can say without getting myself in trouble.
Is it Supercross or motocross? I mean, again, bring them into Supercross, but let's have their own class.
Right.
Done.
I
Their
don't.
own
And
class.
it's not going to be that way. It's going to be mixed in, which
You
is
can't do
which
that.
is bad. Yeah. I think those things have a place. I think, like you said, you could have an indoor riding place.
Yeah,
Now you don't have to worry about vending
You
exhaust.
can bring so many. You
You
could
can
bring
go
it
to
urban.
little arenas.
Yeah, you could
Totally.
bring it. You could bring it
rodeo
in.
grounds, whatever. Make a track and arena, but to try to blend them is a bad idea.
Yeah.
But I would love to see somebody bring back a version of Supermoto.
Yeah.
It's electric downtown.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
make it super, not so maybe fast and more moto-y than supermoto-y, but you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of hybrid.
Kind of like an urban Supercross,
Yeah.
an urban
Yeah.
thing like that. Yeah.
Red Bull talked about doing it. They were Metallicross, they were going to call it.
Yeah.
And it was going to be like all these trash cans that would have shit burning in them.
Well,
and that would be
Jesus.
marking the turns. I know it was at an old like steel mill.
Really?
They were going to do this event years ago.
Yeah. Well, it's not Mad Max shit.
That
but
was
just-
what it was going to be like,
yeah,
metal
but-
ramps and the whole deal.
But I mean, make it polished, make it
Yeah.
bitchin', make it that, but just kind of have its own genre. So whatever.
Whatever.
There's a long ways before that rules our sport. Because you got to change 65s, 85s, 125s, 250s, 250s, 450s, from KTM to Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, Kawasaki, Honda, Triumph, now Ducati.
Well, I personally don't think the electric thing will ever take off unless they can solve the battery problem.
That I have to charge it with my generator?
Well,
my gas generator?
yeah, one, you're charging it with your gas generator, which is insanity. But even if we're looking at it from a performance standpoint, or we
Yeah.
don't, it eliminates noise.
But has anybody rode
The
an
problem is still you ride for 35 minutes,
Yeah.
and then you're done for 2 hours.
But has anybody ever
Whoa.
rode an e-bike in mud, like deep mud? Has anybody ever rode an e-bike in Lomo? This is where
They
I
weren't
think
loused.
But this is where I think they'll
They
really
overheat and
struggle.
drain the battery. I mean, they actually they've tried. I know a couple times in tough conditions, the batteries get so hot it warps and basically.
That's what I'm saying is that you're never going to compete because once it gets so stinking rough or so stinking muddy, that these things
Yeah.
you will see the kind of the failures of them. When it's all smooth and bitchin' and perfect and yummy, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But Lomo?
yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. I don't think lithium ion's ever going to be the answer.
What-
I don't know whatever's next.
What about if they
but-
put like a little boombox on the bike?
Yeah.
Or you could pick your sound.
Yeah.
So if like you're a Honda, it has a bit of a Honda sound. The Yamaha sounds a bit
If
different.
you want to still be a 125, you can be a 125, right?
So when you gas it,
there
it
you
goes,
go.
Yeah. What if you want to sound like a dolphin? okay.
Dude, but when those things go through the whoops, it sounds like someone's fucking. Have you ever heard it? Come on, dude. It does. Like if you didn't,
Rhino, you just ruined whoops on an electric bike for me.
but listen to it. Maybe not you guys, but at my house.
We just learned something about Rhino today.
Yeah.
His pace, his cadence.
Yeah, it's a whoop cadence.
That's not the linkage slapping.
No.
That's the undercarriage.
It's the undercarriage coming through.
Well, on that note, I think that's about all we got.
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
got anything else?
Uh,
Anything big in the moto off-road racing world?
No, just unfortunately, to you guys' point earlier, the bikes coming in, the new 26s, they're pretty pricey.
yeah, the tariffs.
So, for example,
With Donald.
with the Cowie situation this year when they had the recall, they didn't have bikes. Basically, well, they had bikes in dealerships, but we couldn't sell them, so it was delayed. They have such aggressive pricing, and then the new pricing coming in, I'm like looking at a 25 is almost half of a 26.
Same bike.
I'd say almost half, but I might be exaggerating a little bit. But it's about, you could probably get a smoking deal right now on a 25 at about $8,000-ish in that range, depending where you live. And California, everyone gets raped by the state, so you could probably get under $8K in another state, but a little over $8K is about the good cost. But a new one, you go look and you're like, whoa, we're at over 12.
Wow. Wow.
So
Can a state get in trouble for raping so much?
Well, they should.
Yeah.
California
like-
would get the death penalty.
New York would be second in line.
Yeah.
It's crazy, dude.
Oh,
Our gas.
Dude, I just went to Roots. I bought 2 watermelons. I bought some this and that. A couple, dude, didn't even fill up the top of the small cart. $190.
I just spent $600 at Sprouts yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. $600,
And that's like every week and a half or so. That's
$600.
It's crazy. And I'm not buying eggs. I got chickens for eggs.
I've got numb to pricing. I go shopping for the sandwich shop, and they're like, "Oh, that's $2,000." I'm like, "Yeah, no worries." I'm like just immune to it. But it's like
put it on the Langston Motorsports card.
yeah, the old man will have his fake eye pop out. No, I put it on the Benny's card, but it is. It's not. You fill up a big cart with, cause we buy in bulk, and it's like we're spending thousands each time we go.
Oh, dude,
that's every week.
I bought 2 steaks, dude, $50. I'm like, for 2 steaks, $50?
That sounded like a mistake.
Where do you?
Yeah, it was a mistake. Yeah.
Hey, where do you buy your steaks from? Like, there's so much stuff coming out now about
what's organic.
Well,
and
beef being like vaccinated, being tainted with antibiotics, and
they're
talking about.
That's been that way forever.
I like fillets.
Yeah, that's been that way forever. So
there's all these people saying that a lot of your fillets aren't even really fillets. It's like
it's meat glued together.
It's glued together.
It's meat glue.
Yeah, so that's why you don't go to USDA meat at at Ralph's or anything like that. Like, I can taste the difference. It just does not taste like steak. So you go down to Roots over here, and they have grass-fed, grass-finished. So grass-fed, of course, is getting fed grass, but grass-finished meaning they're eating grass until they die, get killed. Normally, it's grass-fed. Then they give them grain. So then you're getting
bump them up.
It fattens them up, but it also puts some marbling in the meat, which
so
makes it taste better.
We just finished some F1 Tomac steaks.
Oh yeah,
yeah, we got them from the Tomacs.
What do you call them? F1?
Yeah, they're F1s.
What's F1?
It's just a quality of steak,
Oh.
but it comes from
okay.
comes from Eli's ranch.
I just thought it meant like it was a really fast cow, and you guys were
Pretty
still able to catch it.
Dude, this thing had sound of fairing and shit. Had a wing and a D.
Did you hear its balls slapping when it was going through the whoops?
No, those things are up tight. The wind resistance, we want, we're aerodynamic.
So that's where it gets the F1.
Yeah.
Well, we got some steaks from a guy here locally who grass feeds and finishes them. Right, they're super lean, and they're kind of tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's like eating a work boot, really.
Yeah. Some of them are like, you're like, okay.
Yeah, it's a 10-minute chew there.
Yeah,
at least your jaw muscles get defined.
But there's some places that around here, so you have to go outside the Ralph and the normal grocery stores, and you go to ranchers and stuff like that. Then you can find some high quality meat.
Yeah.
That way. But you don't eat stuff from the chain supermarkets, I feel. And or you just have a lot of ivermectin and stuff like that to kill the worms in you.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I'm doing a parasite cleanse right now.
Yeah.
I've never done one of those.
Yeah,
Dude, if you have pets, like you have parasites for sure.
Whoever has pets, you have worms.
I was shaving my dogs yesterday. Well, some of them. I had the worst allergies. I filled up shopping bags and shopping bags and shopping bags of hair. It was unreal.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure.
But it's in the meat, it's in the eggs, or whatever.
Salmon for sure.
It's in the salmon. It's in your pets, So ivermectin and a few other things, but also black seed oil and oregano oil is a good way to kill that. Another good
Wormwood.
Another good one is tequila, lemon, and salt.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's
Rhino Tequila.
They put it in a microscope, and you see all the parasites and stuff just go.
Really?
Yeah. Tequila, lemon, and salt.
But if you have too many of those, you also go.
You also turn into a worm. You get a worm
on his back.
Yeah, your wiener turns
into a worm, guys.
Yeah. All of a sudden, you have sad dick. It's like, dude, come on. He's like, no, I'm too sad.
He's in the band Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, I don't want to do nothing. Come on, but look what's in front of you. You only got one eye to distract you.
Well, I'm sad.
No, I'm too sad.
I can't even get up.
Oh my God.
I'm just gonna hang with Bill and Ball.
Yeah.
Well,
all right.
On that note,
and I didn't even have anything to drink. Can you imagine if I had tequila?
Rhino Tequila.
If I had tequila, holy shit, it'd be.
We'd have to stage 2 would be comedy show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming in, boys. I appreciate it.
No,
it's always
thank
fun
you.
chatting.
Oh yeah.
Thank our sponsors, Langston Motorsports. We're big enough to stock it, but we're small enough to care.
Yeah.
Did I nail it?
Oh,
nice.
Big enough to stock it, small enough to care.
Rockwell sunglasses. You guys in the market, check them out.
Oh, thanks for mine, by the way. They were nice.
Ethica. You like those?
Yeah, I do actually. And the Ethicas.
Ethica, check
Wearing
them
them right
out.
now.
And Rhino Tequila, maybe.
It'll be coming. It'll be coming.
Stay tuned.
We're just slow. We got to find our way. It's hard to get out of the barrio.
You got to get rid of the sad worm first.
Yeah, the sad worm, and
So
then
sad.
the blurred vision, and might have to have a fight or two on the
Aren't
way
you
here.
supposed to put the sad worm in the tequila? Isn't it the trick?
You're trying to get the worm eaten. That's
Yeah.
just the,
Yeah. Yeah, it could be a couple fights on the way here. It just takes a while.
Yeah, we'll work on it. Cheers, boys.
Thanks, guys.